All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Bear Week. Packers and Chicago Bears will kick it off Sunday night at Lambeau Field. And it is a pleasure to welcome as our guest here. He's batting leadoff. He's playing wide receiver. He wears number 81 from the University of Illinois. Please welcome, everybody, Geronimo Allison to the fifth quarter.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for
having
having
me. For a
me.
little Labor Day love.
Good evening. Thank you.
How are you, G-Mo?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
And you talked about how the kids already in camp, you know, the rookies in particular at the wide receiver position, had to earn Aaron's trust. How do you go about doing that? You had to go through that, particularly last year, I think, when you finally started getting on the field.
Most importantly, it's a consistency. And it's a pro, and how you attack your job, how you go about your job, and how you do it day after day and consistently. And when you're out there with him, he want to see a maturity about you also, and most importantly, making plays, and not just making one play and then, you know what I'm saying, you going unnoticed or unknown, but making plays on a consistent basis day after day. Somebody that did that was somebody like Jake. You know, right. And it shows. It shows. Everybody sees it. You catches everybody's eye, and when you do it on a consistent basis, your teammates trust you, the coaches trust you, and you build trust with, most importantly, Aaron.
And a big thing is it happened early. Cincinnati game, the big overtime catch, and that just had to give you all kind of confidence.
Yeah.
Finally. I think that was your moment, really.
Well, I think
hello, Geronimo.
Definitely the Cincinnati game, but if you even go back to my rookie year when I first got activated off of the practice squad.
First catch.
My first catch was a touchdown on him in a scramble mode, under duress, under pressure, and I reacted how I was coached and trained to react.
Exactly.
And my first reception it was a touchdown. So it starts in when you start off and when you prepare right, you know what I'm saying, you get the flow and you keep going with it.
Yeah, he is rolling with it. See?
Talk a little bit more about your role as a veteran now with the young wide receiving room. I mean, it's not like you're an old guy.
Right.
You're not an 8 or 9 year veteran, but you are a veteran among this group. Talk about your role, what your strengths are that you think in that role.
My strengths as a young veteran is my experience playing, being out there with Aaron, kind of seeing how he thinks, how he acts, how he call plays when you're in the huddle. Because sometimes he's seeing the game through his mind and through his eyes, so things are different. So my experience of kind of give those guys a little insight of what to expect when you're out there, how to think, how to turn your switch on, because it's a faster game when you're out there. Aaron knows the entire offense, so all things are up. You know what I'm saying? You never know what he's going to think or check or get to, so you need to be prepared for all things.
With a young wide receiver room, are you a guy that waits for the young guys to come to you to ask questions, or are you active in approaching them and, hey, this is how we do things, this is what you missed here? What kind of a leader are you?
I lead. I've always been the type of guy to lead by example, kind of quiet, laid back, kind of in my own little zone bubble. So I watch guys, and I see how guys approach their day, go by day by day. I see their preparation. I see how they approach meetings. If guys are sitting down and coach is speaking, and I feel like it's something that I may need to write down, and I'm looking at a guy that may write it down, that may not write it down. Do he take his job serious? Do I approach him and coach him up? Or do I see a guy that is writing a note down? Now I could ask him maybe later, what note did you take down? Because it might be a point I may need, or it might be a point I could coach you up on. So different little things like that. I look at guys who take their job serious, and I can feel like I can help, and they take my advice seriously.
Now, if you're a guy that kind of sits back, what have you picked up from watching a Devontae Adams, from watching a Randall Cobb, those types of guys?
Most importantly, how they go about their business, how they kind of tune in to coaches, how they write different notes, how they prepare and how they practice. They practice at a high pace, at a high tempo. At times they take scout team reps. If those guys are out there taking scout team reps, why can't I? You know what I'm saying? So just how they approach their game and how they have the consistent basis and go about it day after day.